Fusion Mobile, quality e-learning experience on the go.
Hello again and welcome to Fusion Mobile e-learning class. As always, this is Civic Education and my name is Abubakar Abdul. Now in this video we are going to be looking at fuel subsidy. We'll be looking at the meaning of subsidy or fuel subsidy. We'll also be looking at the purpose of fuel subsidy. We'll be looking at the removal of fuel subsidy or reasons for removal of fuel subsidy. Then we'll be looking at the merits of subsidy removal, and then finally the demerits or disadvantages of subsidy removal. Now when we talk about subsidy, basically what we're looking at here, it says subsidy is defined as money granted by states or public body to keep down the prices of commodities. A subsidy is money that is paid by government or other authority in order to help an industry or business or to pay for public service. But then now let's get more on an individual level. We say subsidy can equally be defined as benefits given by the government to individuals, whether in form of cash, tax reduction, or by reducing the cost of goods and services. Now basically when we're talking about subsidy, we're talking about a situation where let's assume something is sold for 100 naira, and then government decides, okay, since you are selling this to our citizens are going to buy it for 50 naira, and then we will pay you the remaining 50 naira. So basically it's still sold for 100 naira, but the citizens in the nation are buying it for 50 naira, and government is completing the remaining 50 naira and then giving it to the producer or the seller of that commodity. Fuel, for instance, that's fuel, petrol. If you remember, about last year, fuel was sold for 97 naira when we still had fuel subsidy. But the actual price, the actual market price was 141 naira or 145 naira. Now, citizens were buying it for 97 naira and government was paying the rest. That is what we mean by fuel subsidy, when the price of fuel is reduced for the citizen, but still government complement the money before it is given to the actual producers of that fuel. So now, well, what are the purpose of subsidy? Why do government subsidize the prices of certain commodities for its citizens? Number one, to help individuals and business purchase essential goods and services that they may not be able to afford under normal circumstances. Number two, to redistribute wealth indirectly to the poor majority in order to help the fight against poverty. Number three, to reduce how much Nigerians have to pay for petroleum products, which include petrol, diesel, and kerosene. In other words, to give Nigerians access to cheap petroleum products. Number four, to protect the citizens from crude oil volatility in the international market. This means that the price of crude oil changes suddenly and unexpectedly in the international market. The international money markets have been highly volatile since the early 1970s. And then the final purpose we're going to take here is to toe the line of other oil producing countries, because of the fact that fuel subsidy is particularly popular in these countries. So such oil producing countries are Venezuela, Iran, Saudi, Kuwait, China, Taiwan, South Korea, Trinidad and Tobago, and Brunei. All these are oil producing countries. Now these are the purpose, or these are some of the purposes of fuel subsidy. Now let us look at the reasons for removal of fuel subsidy. Now when we talk about the removal of fuel subsidy, we are basically talking about a situation where government no longer complements the price of a particular product. Situation where citizens actually buy the product at its exact market price, because government is no longer paying part of that price. That's the same thing that happened to fuel in Nigeria. We were paying 97 naira because government was paying the rest of the money, but now government is saying, okay, we are going to remove fuel subsidy. We are no longer going to pay. That means Nigerians have to buy fuel for the actual price, which is 141 or 145 naira. So now, what are the reasons for the removal of fuel subsidy? What are those circumstances, those situations that leads a government to say, you know what, we want to stop subsidizing the price of social commodity or social commodity? Before I tell you some of the reasons, the question is going to pop up on your screen right now, and I'm confident you're going to answer it correctly. Here's the question. Welcome back from that question, and I am hopeful you answered the question correctly. Before the question popped up, we are talking about the reasons for removal of fuel subsidy, and I said I was going to tell you some of these reasons, and these reasons are: number one, government resolution to deregulate and liberalize the petroleum sector. That is one of the reasons. Number two, increase in revenue earning. Number three, need for infrastructural development projects. All these are reasons for removal of fuel subsidy. Need for infrastructural development project. When government stop paying subsidy, when government stops subsidizing the price of commodities, it's going to generate revenue, which is the second point we said, increase in revenue earning. It's going to generate more revenue for the country, and that revenue the country can use for infrastructural development projects, buildings, bridges, roads. All these are infrastructural development projects. Now let's just move straight to the merits, to the advantage of fuel subsidy. What are the good aspects of a government saying, you know what, we are no longer going to subsidize the price of a particular commodity for our citizens? These are some of the merits or the advantages. Number one, government will save money. Number two, infrastructural development. Number three, attracts local and foreign investors. Number four, increase in local refinery production. Number five, reduction in government interference. Number six, more employment opportunities. And then number seven, creation of wealth. That is wealth creation. All these are some of the advantages, the merits of removal of subsidy removal. And then finally, disadvantages of subsidy removal or demerits of subsidy removal, and the following are some of the demerits of subsidy removal. Number one, we have hyperinflation, where the prices of other goods just inflate, they shoot up. Number two, we have poor standard of living. Of course, when prices of commodities are high, standard of living is going to be lower. Number three, we have social and industrial unrest. Cause pressure from organized labor to increase the national minimum wage to between 50, you've heard it. Labor Congress want to increase the minimum wage to 50 to 100,000 because there's no fuel subsidy anymore, because things are now expensive. So of course they want the government to pay laborers more, but then again the government is already having problem meeting the 18,000 minimum wage it already sets in the country. So how do you expect government to pay about 50,000 minimum wage to laborers in the country? Number four, we have retrenchment. Number five, we have increase in unemployment, of course. Number six, and the final disadvantage of subsidy removal that we are going to talk about here is corruption may destroy the savings. Of course, when we talk about subsidy removal, most of the people that criticize the removal of fuel subsidy in Nigeria, we are scared that the money is not going to be utilized properly. The money is not going to be used for what it is supposed to be used for. That is part of their fears. So basically that's what we have to cover for this video, and I hope it has been helpful. If you don't understand anything, just go back to the beginning of the video and watch it over again. I still remain Abubakar Abdul. Bye bye for now. Some questions of course are going to pop up on your screen. I didn't forget that, so please do answer them. Once again, bye bye for now.